You're the easiest one in the world to love, and the easiest one to walk away from. You didn't decide to be this way. You were taught it pays. It's smaller, and they let you stay, so you got quiet. You got agreeable, you called it being mature. It was just fear with the better manners. And it turned you into furniture. Useful, right there in the room, chosen by no one. You learned the rules young. Somewhere around the time, boys started grading you out of 10. Nobody handed you a contract. You signed it anyway. Let me show you the day you did. You won't remember it, but your body will. So, before I show you, when did you last want something out loud just for you? If you came up blank, stay. That blank has a cause and a price. There is a room you have lived in for years. You made it small on purpose. You don't remember deciding to. There was no single day. It happened the way water wears down stone. One quiet concession at a time. The opinions went down first, the ones that made the dinner table go silent. You learned the silence was your fault, so you stopped causing it. Then your appetite went, not for food, for more, for better, for the thing you actually wanted, instead of the thing you were handed and told to be grateful for. Then the laugh that took up too much air, the story that ran too long, the need that asked for too much. One by one, you took them down, folded them, and put them somewhere you wouldn't have to look. And you told yourself a kind story about it. You said you were becoming easy to live with. You said you were low maintenance, chill, drama-free. You wore those words like compliments, because the people around you handed them to you like they were. But let me tell you what you were actually doing in that room. You were disappearing, politely, on schedule, with a smile, so the living wouldn't show. And here is the part nobody has ever had the nerve to say to your face. You got good at it. Frighteningly good. You can sit in a full room and take up no more space than a coat left on a chair. You can want something for a whole year, ache for it quietly, and never once say it out loud. You can feel a feeling rise in your throat and swallow it so smoothly the person across from you never sees it go down. And you call that being easygoing, mature, grace, being the bigger person. A hostage calls it survival too. So hear this now, before we go one step further. That smallness is not a flaw in your character. Put that thought down. It is the wrong one. It is training. Training that worked exactly the way it was built to. You did not fail at being yourself. You succeeded at something that was never yours to want. And training means one thing. Somebody designed it. So let me show you the rules, the actual ones. The ones you were handed before you were old enough to refuse them. Rule 1. Want less, and you get to stay. Rule 2. Need nothing, and you become safe to keep. Rule 3. Make it easy, and maybe, this time, they won't leave. You were taught this so early, they stopped feeling like rules. They feel like your personality now. Like just the way you are. Like weather. Something that simply exists and was never chosen, but they were installed by people into a child who had no way to say no. And here is the day I promised you, the one you won't remember. Think back to the first time the word too much got stuck to your name. You were young, you don't remember the room, but you remember the feeling because it never fully left. Too loud, too sensitive, too needy, too dramatic, too eager, too you. Somebody said it. Something in you flinched. And in that flinch, you made a quiet, permanent decision to never get caught being that again. That was the day you signed. Right there. That flinch was your signature. Now notice something you have probably never let yourself notice. Those words only ever get aimed in one direction. A man who says what he wants is direct. A man with needs is just a man. A woman with the exact same needs is a problem to manage. A lot to handle. A man who raises his voice has conviction. A woman who raises hers is hysterical. A man who knows his worth is confident. A woman who knows hers is full of herself. So you learned the safest move a girl in that world had. You filed your needs away to stop being the problem. You turned your wanting down to a volume nobody could complain about. And you did it so well that eventually even you forgot it was a performance. Now you are waiting for me to hand you someone to hate. I am not going to. The people who taught you these rules were not villains. Your mother was passing down the exact armor that kept her safe in a world that punished her for wanting to. The men were mostly repeating what was handed to them. Nobody plotted against you in a dark room. It was quieter and sadder than that. The enemy was never a person, and that matters, because you cannot block a rule. You cannot wait for a rule to apologize. The enemy is the deal itself. Be less, and you will be loved. You held up your end of it for years, maybe decades. You paid it in silence and smallness, and 1,000 sentences you swallowed instead of said. So let me ask the one question that ends all this quiet. You kept your half completely. Did it pay? Every hostage situation has a ransom, a price you hand over, hoping it finally buys your release. So here is what yours cost. Not your time. You give that freely, and time grows back. Not your patience, not your effort, not your endless usefulness. Those replenish. It cost you your wanting. The machinery inside you that knows, without asking anyone, what you desire. Remember the question I asked at the start, the one you couldn't answer, that blank space where your answer should have been. That was not emptiness. Do not mistake it for emptiness. That was the receipt. You did not lose your desires somewhere, like keys, by accident. You handed them over, one at a time, as payment for staying chosen. Now, you might be wondering why a man is the one saying this. That is fair. You should wonder. So let me be clear about who I am. I am not your father. I am not your husband. I am not the boy who graded you at 16. I am not one of the people who built your room. I am a stranger from the other side of the world. I will probably never meet you. I have nothing to sell you, no reason to flatter you. I do not need you small. That is the entire reason I can say the plain thing the people closest to you stop being able to see. They are standing too close. They are inside the deal with you, paying their own version of it. I am outside it, so I can see the whole shape clean. You paid that ransom faithfully, for years. And here is the cruelty at the center of it. The part you already half know. The one holding you never for a single moment meant to let you go. So now the thing they will never tell you. You did everything the deal asked. You shrank. You stayed easy. You kept the peace until it cost you your own voice. And the reward never came. Or it came and left anyway, and took some of your best years out the door with it. And then comes the final insult. The same world that wrote the rules now calls you bitter for being tired, difficult, tells you that you should have been more realistic. Hear the next part with your whole body. This is what everything has been moving toward. It was never your fault. Say it again, slower, in your own voice. It was never your fault. You were not too much. You were not hard to love. You were not broken. You did not fail the deal. The deal was a lie from the first day it was handed to you. There was no version of you small enough to make it work. None. Because it was never built to reward you. It was built to keep you spending. You honored a contract that was void before the ink was dry. And you were not naive for believing it. You were a child, taught it by people who believed it too. Believing the people who raise you is not a flaw. It is how children survive. And that feeling, the one you buried so deep you almost forgot it was there. The one that surfaced late at night and whispered, "This isn't fair. I shouldn't have to vanish to be kept." That was not weakness, not you being ungrateful or selfish or dramatic. That was the truth. It was the one part of you that saw the whole machine clearly, the entire time. The one part that never managed to take. And it has been waiting this whole time for someone to turn to it and say it was right. So let me be the one. You are right. You are right the whole time. So here is what happens now. Today, from this moment. The woman you packed away to survive is not dead. Understand the difference, because the rest of your life turns on it. She was not killed, she was taken. Killed means gone, means grieve her. Taken means she is still in there, intact, waiting to be brought home. And she is, exactly where you left her. That easy version, the quiet one. The one who wants nothing and never makes it complicated. That was never you. That was the costume they made you wear so you'd be allowed to stay in the room. And you do not owe a single rule another payment. Not one more day, not one more swallowed sentence. The account is closed. So here is what I want you to do this week. Not someday. Not when you've earned it. This week. Break one rule, just one. You don't have to burn it all down at once. Want something out loud, where another person can hear you want it. Say the inconvenient thing at the table that goes quiet. Order what you actually crave instead of the cheapest thing on the menu. Take the bigger half. Sit in the seat with the better view and don't apologize for it. Take up the space you have spent your whole life folding yourself out of. Be the problem, on purpose, once. And then watch. Watch how little the world actually ends. The room does not collapse. The ceiling stays up. The people who truly belong with you do not leave. Because the ones who only stayed for the small version were never really yours. The only thing that breaks is the cage. Because here is the secret they spent your whole life keeping from you. You are never too much. The rules were just too small to hold you. They were built shallow. And you were always deeper than the space they were willing to give you. And one more thing, the most important thing, keep this even if you forget everything else. The door was never locked from the outside. It never was. You can walk out the moment you decide the deal is over, not when they release you. Not when you are finally small enough, good enough, chosen enough. The day you decide. That is the only key there ever was. So decide today. And before you go, do one thing for me. In the comments, finish this sentence. Their version of me they made easy was the one who stopped blank. One word, you don't have to explain it. Just name the thing you stopped. Someone is going to scroll down, read yours, and realize for the first time that she's not the only one. So tell me, what did you stop? Walk out. She's on the other side, waiting. And she has been waiting a long time, and she's so much more than they ever let you be. Go get her. Stay real, because that's what I crave. See you in the next episode.